What is the best FOX-3 missile in the game? Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons, make sure to subscribe. And I wanted to redo this video. I already did one like this when the patch released, but to be honest, the missiles have been changed by quite a lot. The same kind of idea is there, but they are changed between each other so that we can have kind of an idea. Okay, so what is the best FOX-3 missile right now in the game? Well, the first thing that we need to look into is that there are multiple ways of building a FOX-3 missile. Okay, so there are multiple doctrines, and we can, just like I said on that video, we can kind of divide these missiles in certain ways. Okay, we will have missiles, of course, in a general sense. Before we get to it, it's just that all missiles are made for hitting targets that are maneuvering a lot, and all missiles are obviously made to do BVR, beyond visual range combat. Okay, they are made to actually hit a target that it's flying in a very long distance. The thing is, there are doctrines and doctrines, right? There are doctrines like, for example, on the Russians or the Soviets, where they used to use the R-27ER as their main missile when the R-77 got, added to their loadout. And the R-77 had less range than the R-27ER, which meant that they still go and went through using the R-77 as a medium range missile, and for the medium to long range situations, it would be used the R-27, right? While this is of course being phased out with better versions of the R-77 and stuff, still, this is the principle that we have in the game right now. So there are missiles that are better at a certain thing and missiles that are better at other things, okay? Again, all of them are pretty good at dogfighting and at BVR. They are the ultimate kind of missile, to be honest. And the more we go into the future, the better each of these missiles will be in every single category that we talk about. So I wanted to divide in three categories here. The missiles that are a little bit better for BVR, the missiles that are a little bit better for, dogfights or short-range engagements or something like that, and the middle, where there are missiles that are not amazing at dogfights, not amazing at BVR, but they are in the middle. To be honest, most of the missiles would be right in the middle, no matter what, right? So first, BVR, beyond visual range. For long ranges, we need to count to one of the main things that we need to always look into when you are talking about range and energy. And that's it, energy, okay? That's energy. The more energy you have, the better you maintain your energy throughout the flight as a missile, the better the missile will be. It doesn't matter if it turns less or anything like that so much, I mean, of course it matters, but the thing is that at long ranges, no missile will be able to do its max G anyway, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's an R-77 flying around that can do 50 Gs, but at 40 kilometers, it will never do 50 Gs. It will do less than the AIM-120. Why? Because the AIM-120 has more energy, So at the end of the day, this is the idea of BVR. The main thing that you have to look into here is the amount of energy that the missile has throughout longer ranges. And how do you see that? Well, with speed. I will leave in the screen right now. I talked multiple times about this graph. It's a graph made by Jevelius. I will leave the links in the description. And yeah, he made an awesome graph here that shows the buffs from the original missiles, right, that we had this week. And you can clearly see that the best missile on that category, beyond 24 to 25 kilometers, something like that, beyond that, the missile that has the most amount of energy is indeed the AIM-120, and quite a lot compared to some of the others. There are others that are almost there. For example, between 16 kilometers and 25 kilometers, the darters and derbies will be the missiles that are, the better. And from 16 kilometers, from 0 to 16 kilometers, the best missile will be the Mika. So you can clearly see that for BVR, for energy, that we need the energy here. If you don't have the energy, you will miss the missile. The best missile is indeed the M120 for ultra long range shots above 25, 26 kilometers onwards, right? For mid ranges between 18 and 24, the best one would be the Darter or the Derby. They are very similar, right? And of course, gapping a little bit into the BVR situation up to 16 kilometers, the Mika will be the best missile. So it depends, right? So if you are talking about BVR in the very long ranges, the M120 is the best, clearly. The Darter is right up there, especially in the mid ranges, 20 kilometers or so, and in the shorter ranges, the Mika for these BVR situations of up to like 16 kilometers, 14 kilometers, the Mika will be better, okay? So that's it, the first one. The second way of looking into this is the dogfighting missiles. And here you can see other graphs, like, for example, the amount of Gs that the missiles can pull and the amount of AOAs. And where can we actually look into that? With acceleration as well, taking into account, of course, because I think the amount of acceleration and delta V that the missile has is really, really important when the missile is, trying to do a dogfight. Then we can talk about how the Mika is the best missile for sure. Why? Because at up to like 8 kilometers, it will be the missile that has the most amount of energy. Together with that, it is the missile equal to only the R-77 that can turn the most Gs, 50 Gs, right? And together with that, of course, it is a missile that can change direction very well with its AOA in its fins. Does it mean the R-77 and the Derby are not good? No, it means both of them are also almost as good, but the Mika, I think, takes the crown of being the best dogfighting missile up to like 6, 8, 10 kilometers. The Mika is the best missile. It turns the most Gs. Again, compared to the R-77, it's the same, but the R-77 has less energy. It has less engine, basically. And the Mika will have more of a mixture of everything, energy G and everything, turning capability to be able to be the best, dogfighting missile ever. And then for the third category, what is the best middle ground? What is the best missile that it's in the middle that we can talk about it here? I think there are two that we can talk about it here, and one of them will surprise you. One of them is, of course, the Darter and Derby. These missiles are really, really good mid-missiles in that sense, right? They are amazing. They are better than the M120 by quite a lot in the dogfighting capability. More Gs, more turn, everything like that, more energy at shorter ranges. And then eventually, they're not as good as the M120 in BVR, but they are way better in the BVR than the Mika, because the Mika loses a lot more energy. They are better than the R-77, they are better than the M120 in the dogfight, they are better than most missiles. They're the middle ground. They lose a little bit to the Mika in the dogfighting capability, less Gs, a little bit less energy at the get-go, but they also lose a little bit to the M120 in the drag and stuff. So at the longer, extremely long ranges, you will be the worst missile. But combining these two features, it means that the missile has more energy than the M120 at up close, more turn than the M120 at up close, and more energy than the Mika in the longer ranges. The second missile that we can try to put in, but I still don't believe it's as good as the Derby, it is the PL-12. The PL-12 has kinda the same idea here. It has more energy than the M120, overall kinda the same turn, but overall more energy than the M120 at the get-go from a dogfight perspective, and then in the long ranges it has more energy than the Mika. So it's another kind of mid-missile there in that regard. Mid in the sense that it's not made just for dogfights, it's not made just for long-range engagement. It's the middle ground, right? Just like the Derby. So at the end of the day, it depends on what you want to do. It's difficult to choose a missile. What is the best missile? It depends. It depends on what you are seeing. If you look into dogfights, the Mika is the clear winner. If you look in BVR, technically the M120 is the better. If you look a mix between the best of all, like jack of all trades kind of situation, it's not perfect in any sense, but it's pretty good. The Derby or the Darter, right? So, my opinion, it depends. If I want to do dogfights fly low, for example, Mika is the way to go, in my opinion. If you want to fly high and try to fire missiles from as further away as possible, M120. If you don't know what you're doing and you want to do a bit of both, the Darter, the Derby, they are the best missiles. And someone might even say that they are the best missiles. The Darter, the Derby might be the best missile. Why? Because, like I said, it's, a jack of all trades. It's good at dogfights, good at long range, but it's not perfect at dogfights like the Mika, and not a little bit better like the M120 in the BVR. So in my opinion, the Darter and the Derby, looking at the data and how they feel and stuff, probably the best missile right now in that regard. But again, we need perspective on what you are trying to do to see what is the best missile. Let me know in the comments what you think. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye guys. See ya.